All right, today we are diving deep into a book called Borikén Unveiled, and let me tell you, it completely flips the script on Puerto Rican history. We're not talking about simple discovery here. We're talking about a cosmic war, a hidden archive, and a reawakening that's supposedly happening right now. So the book kicks off with this massive claim. Puerto Rico was never discovered. It was erupted. I mean, wow. Right there, that one sentence just throws out everything you probably learned in school. The idea here isn't just about geology, right? It's framing the island's origin as a deliberate, almost engineered cosmic event. So where does this story even begin? According to the author, we have to go back millions of years, way, way before colonization. It all starts with one single massive event that supposedly sets the stage for everything else, the eruption of a hidden supervolcano. So this is the Hato Puerco supervolcano, and the book says this was no random act of nature. It was a conscious event. It claims the eruption didn't just create land, it activated a vault and forged a cloaked dimensional ship. This eruption literally encoded the land with what the text calls late Cretaceous fire and ancestral voltage. Think about that. The island itself becomes this living, breathing archive from the moment it's born. And it doesn't stop there. The idea gets way bigger. The author suggests that Borikén, and get this, Cuba and Hispaniola too, they're not just islands. No, they're more like stations, or maybe even cloaked ships in a fleet, all strategically parked right over the deep Puerto Rico trench as part of some huge galactic grid. And this is where it gets really interesting, because the book asks you to look at everything you know differently. You might see El Yunque as a beautiful rainforest for a weekend hike, but in this codex, it's a surviving altar, a portal to the sky. Those caves we see as just geological formations? Nope. They're dimensional corridors and interfaces. It's all about reframing the familiar into functional pieces of a suppressed cosmic machine. Okay, so if the island really is this high-tech vessel, then who was running it? Who were the original crew? Well, the next part of the book dives into exactly that, the beings who lived there and the really sophisticated warning system they supposedly built, long before any threat ever appeared on the horizon. Now, this is a huge point in the book, the Taíno Zemi. The author argues that we've got them all wrong. We look at them as religious idols, objects for worship. But what if they were something else entirely? What if they were functional pieces of technology, part of a complex communication network? So think of it like this. Each Zemi is a dimensional transmitter, a kind of cosmic regulator. It's an interface, and each one had its own specific frequency. Take Guabensex, the goddess of storms. In this view, she wasn't just a symbol of chaos. She was a very specific alert system, literally broadcasting a warning about a dimensional breach that was on its way, a breach that would arrive cloaked in sails and scripture. And that warning system leads us right into the heart of the conflict. Because according to this book, colonization wasn't just a clash of human empires. Not even close. It was the first battle in a full-blown cosmic invasion, an event that had apparently been prophesied for centuries. So the author lays out the two sides of this galactic war. On one side, you have the forces aligned with the Star People, entities like Yukahu, the Sky Entity, and Atabe, the Earth Mother. And on the other side, well, these are what the book calls Reptilian-coded forces. This is where figures like Hurricane, the god of hurricanes, are recast as a form of reptilian interference. The book has a name for this whole process, the Reptilian Shutdown. That's its term for colonization. And the weapons they used weren't just cannons and swords. The real weapons were things like distorting memory, jamming frequencies, and erasing sacred rituals. The author even claims that Spain's sudden technological leap forward wasn't even human. It was a non-human download, a transfer of tech with one goal: find and steal the island's cosmic codex. And here's another mind-bending twist. Remember the great Taíno leader Agüebana? History tells us he died in battle in 1510. Well, this book says, nope, he didn't die. He performed a tactical dimensional exit. He basically went into the island's living archive to protect it from the inside out. Okay, so this is where all this wild cosmic history crashes right into our present moment. The author's main point is that after 500 years of being dormant, this archive, this vault, isn't just waking up. It's being actively rebooted. Right now. And who's doing the rebooting? According to the book, it's the youth. It argues that a new generation are becoming codex carriers. They aren't just reading about history in a textbook, they're actively rebuilding the interface. They are using ritual, art, and a whole new way of seeing the landscape to decode the island's true nature.
So, you might be wondering, how exactly is this reboot supposed to be happening? A central tool the book discusses is something it calls supreme mathematics. It's presented as this system of thought, almost like a cipher for decoding reality. It's a path. You start at step 1, knowledge. That's the foundation. Then you move to step 2, wisdom, which is about putting that knowledge into action. And that all leads to step 3, understanding, finally being able to see the big picture clearly.
And this isn't just some abstract philosophical concept. The book lays out actual, tangible actions it calls reactivation protocols. We're talking about modern rituals, like going back to the caves to interface with the ancient petroglyphs, or using a supreme alphabet to recode language, like turning Borikén into an acronym. It's about treating the volcanic soil itself as a shielded command node, and, most importantly, refusing to accept the colonial version of history. So really, when you boil it all down, Borikén Unveiled leaves us with one heck of a question to chew on. What if history isn't just something you passively read in a book? What if it's actually a code, an active, living interface that's just waiting for the right people to come along and re-engage its systems?